The Dodgers kick off their National League Division Series against the Braves tonight. It's now been 30 years since the Dodgers' last World Series championship, and after coming up just short last year against the Astros, the LA Times now says it's championship or bust for Dave Roberts' crew. Marcellus, you agree?
Disagree. Absolutely disagree. It's interesting how LA will sell itself, as we are the hub and the epicenter of culture. We export our culture all across the world. And what we're trying to do right now is export a team that hasn't won a World Series in 30 years and say this is a World Series or bust campaign for this team. How? With the injuries and the inconsistencies they've had this year, this was a good sell last year when the team looked like, hey, you should win the World Series, and came one game short, despite some implosions by Clayton Kershaw and Kenley Jansen. And it's interesting, the video started off with Kenley Jansen and his inconsistencies this year. This is a guy who's given up 13 home runs, used to be the best reliever, certainly in the National League. 13 home runs this season alone. That's 4 more than the previous 2 seasons combined. This is not a team that is supposed to win the World Series. This is a scrappy bunch that had 4 must-win games, that won those games, got hot at the right time, but at the same time, the expectations are lower. We're trying to sell this more so than know this.
I think you may have missed the point of the LA Times story, in my view. Look, they got the 3rd highest payroll in baseball, so I don't want to hear any excuses. But more than that, you got the LA Rams going gangbusters.
Okay.
And you got LeBron James now in town with the Lakers.
Right.
And so if the Dodgers want to keep this a Dodgers town, when the NFL has shown up in the biggest way possible, this exciting offense, this team that looks like it's going to be a Super Bowl contender moving forward, not just this year, moving forward. LeBron James is going to be here for at least 4 years, paired with Magic Johnson. Maybe not this year, but in the following year, they're probably going to have someone for LeBron to play with. If the Dodgers don't want to be in 3rd place, which maybe they already are now, it's World Series or bust. You can't go 30 years without winning a title and compete against a powerhouse football team and the biggest star in all of sports, LeBron James.
Well, look, I don't think 30 years has been the issue for the Dodgers because they've had the highest payroll before. They keep beating their own record, and now they've dropped to 3rd when they used to be 1st. Attendance records, they keep beating their own attendance records. But the Lakers didn't lose any of this luster in terms of it being number 1 in L.A., despite its lowly times in the 90s and despite its lowly times in the last 5 years. Like, we keep saying, oh, and the Raiders and Rams were here before. The Rams have not supplanted the Raiders despite their success now. And if they win the Super Bowl, it's still a Raiders town.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? But
I don't know if that'll be true.
I would say this, that baseball, in terms of what it means to L.A., is historical. Like the game is. It's a game of numbers. It's a game of that history. Dodgers need to win for the Dodgers, but don't sell a Showtime version of the Dodgers when this is a scrappy bunch that may get out in the 1st round.
All right, to a big story in the NBA, where the league's annual survey of general managers just picked LeBron James as the favorite to win MVP this year. It's hard to believe, but LeBron hasn't won the award since 2013. And our friend Chris Carter on First Things First says winning this year would carry a special significance.
I feel as if LeBron does win MVP, it's like his 4th championship. 16th year in the league at this age. And I think this is a tremendous compliment coming from the general managers.
All right, so I saw this morning. I thought it was an interesting discussion Chris was having. Could a MVP, be just as valuable to LeBron's legacy as another title?
No, and I think when you hear that, you try to process that, and you say, oh, that makes sense. You know, like at this age, 34, and playing for another franchise, and to be the best in the world, but actually get respected as the MVP by journalists, amazing. Until you start to think, the collective doesn't respect MVPs like they do championships. Go to any barbershop, go to any sports bar and sit there and start saying, hey, man, how many MVPs does Jordan have? People, right. And then you say, how many does Kareem have?
6.
How many does Shaq have?
1 or 2.
There we
he got
go.
robbed. He got robbed.
How many drinks
he got
you had?
robbed by Steve
How many
Nash.
drinks you had?
He got 1, I think.
Okay. And Larry Bird.
Larry Bird had 3 or 4.
There you go. See, that's the thing.
Magic had 5.
No.
4.
See, here we go.
Yeah.
Now, you ready?
Yeah.
It's interesting how you're starting to get divided but when I start saying how many championships, it's not 3 or 4. It's not 4. It's
right.
boom. And that's the problem with LeBron. He's not going to win the MVP. It's a traveling trophy. And even if he does, we're not going to say, oh, that's your 4th ring. We're going to say, you were due more MVPs in the past.
If he gets to a 5th MVP, that's the same number as Michael Jordan. And trust me, the LeBron lovers will start making that a part of their argument. He's got 5 MVPs, and he got his 5th at age 34 on a Lakers team that wasn't that good. They'll make it part of their argument. I do think it will enhance his legacy. Will it make it the equal of Michael Jordan? No. Is it the equal of another championship? No.
Right.
But it is another accomplishment that LeBron can add. And trust me, if he gets his 5th, he's going to damn sure make sure he gets his 6th and tie him with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and have 1 more than Michael Jordan. And so I do think it'll just be another little feather in LeBron's cap in his war against Michael Jordan and the people that are involved in it. Look, to me, he'll never be the equal of Michael Jordan.
Ooh, you went there.
But, no, he'll never be the equal of Michael Jordan. And if he gets 2 or 3,
we got to add that segment one day.
Yeah, he'll never be the equal of Michael Jordan.
Do that.
But if he gets this extra MVP, it enters him a step closer.
Look, LeBron has to have all these parts add up to be a greater sum than what he is, because Jordan is perfection. LeBron is, like you said, another feather. You know, you used to walk to the bank when you were little and you didn't have $1. You had 100 pennies. I got $1 once I walk out the bank, but I walked in with 100 pennies. This is another penny to that collection to try and catch up to that $1 bill that Jordan has already placed down. I don't think it measures up, as you even said. MVPs versus championships. I've never heard a player preseason say, you know what my goal is this year? Go out there and get that MVP.
That's because they don't say it that loud, but trust me, a lot of them had that goal. Kevin Durant's got it this year. I guarantee you.
Would he take it in place of a championship?
Maybe.
Oh, stop. Now we're doing TV.
Maybe.
Now we're doing TV.
Maybe.
Stop.
All right, let's move to college baseball, where the University of Georgia decided to dismiss one of its best players, senior first baseman Adam Sasser, after reports that Sasser directed racial slurs from the stands at Bulldogs backup quarterback Justin Fields during the football team's game against Tennessee on Saturday. Marcellus was dismissing Sasser from the team the right move.
Absolutely. It's the right move. I'll give you something Grandma used to tell me, and I know you're religified. You're a spiritual guy. You go to church. Grandma said, God whispers before he yells. And think about this when you're talking about a student athlete who is held to a higher standard because of all the perks and all the accolades you're given just being on the team, let alone being successful and good at the team. You get to walk around with the sweatsuit, the empty backpack. You get to go to the frat party and say hello to the girl. She already knows your name before you even said hello. All the perks. And there is some fine print. You can't act stupid like everyone else. So here's the thing that really is discouraging about this. One, that the N-word was in him. Like somewhere in him, he felt comfortable N-word, whether in private or not. But he took it outside. And then not only did he take it outside, they told him to stop when he was outside. And he kept going. Guess what? It's time to yell at this dude. It's time to come down with the hammer. And I think that this is setting a great example of whatever your private behavior is, which we don't even want to support.
This is public behavior, but go ahead.
Yeah, whatever your private behavior is, please respect that it's private behavior. Now, representing our university as a member of the baseball team, you got to take the hell that comes from it.
Listen, I think that there was a young woman involved in this who I thought handled everything very appropriately, asked him to stop, got the police to come over to try to get him to stop, and he did eventually, and then went someplace where you complain about fan behavior and did it perfect.
Yes.
As an adult, I'm very reluctant to give up on people because I just know the mistakes I made in youth.
True.
And thank God some of them didn't become public because I made some serious mistakes and things that I would put on par with this dude being an idiot. So I felt like what should have happened is he should have been suspended from the team and punished. And then when I see behavior like this is someone that needs help, literally needs some mental help. And so I'm not for discarding people. I'm for giving them the help that they need. He needs some counseling, because if you're out in public at a sporting event surrounded by all these people you don't know, and you're a representative of that university, and there's another representative of that university that you have a partnership and alliance with, you're both student athletes, and you think, I don't care how much alcohol was consumed, you think this is appropriate, this is somebody, to me, screaming for help, and I would rather give him help than to ostracize him and move him out of society, because I just know there have been times in my life where I've needed help, and thank God I was given time to evolve and mature and become a better person.
Okay, look, I'm not saying ostracize a guy. I'm saying you need help, and we're going to put this in proper priority, which is your life, your personal issues first, not baseball first, and then let's get you help on the side. So this is a way to reprioritize what's important to this kid. And the kid has to go through this process, sometimes being told that that's not good enough, and we're going to discipline you in terms of action, is the wake-up call you need. So I don't want to make this guy think, oh, I could go to practice in a week or two if I just go through this routine process of evaluation. This is good. And the guy owned up to it. He seems to show some contrition, respect for that. And thank God this is not another case of someone saying this is some rap lyrics. I'm tired of hearing that one, dog.
No, this was not rap.
No, this
was
him.
an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, Drew Brees is about to break the Peyton Manning's passing record, but is he really on Peyton's level? Mark Schlereth and D'Angelo Hall tell us what they think. Dirt!